everybody, and welcome to Mike Nierychlo Online. It's me, sharing my love for people, wine, food, and all things made passionately. So today's episode, got a great guest with us. This is Drew Cookta. Drew, pleasure to have you by the garage.
Thanks for
having me. So Drew, you're the winemaker for Spierhead Winery?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Spierhead Winery, a new winery out of Kelowna area in the Okanagan, new BC winery.
Yeah. So we're a small property just up in the emergent area of the East Kelowna wine trail. So we're near to wineries like Tantalus and the View.
Okay, yeah. If you know the area, then you know what you're looking out for. Now this is a winery to look out for. They've got some interesting products coming out, and I think they're doing a good job already. So I'm super excited to talk about what's going on. But Drew, tell us about you. What got you into wine in the first place?
Oh,
we had a great conversation off camera, just started nerding out together, but.
I think my sister was the one who really got me into it.
Okay.
When I was a teenager and finding my way, she was already a successful lawyer and that sort of thing. And she and her husband used to make trips down to Walla Walla and come back with a trunk full of wine. So, I still remember the first wine that she poured me that said, right, this is it. She poured me an Alsatian Pinot Gris, and I just went, wow, this is amazing. And
this tastes good. I don't have to force myself to like this.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I think people need to remember.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to force yourself to like wine.
No.
It just probably means you haven't had really good wine yet.
Yeah, and I mean that's the whole reason for wine existing is it's there to be loved. And if it's not, find something that you do.
Yeah, exactly. So you've spent time in the retail wine world, in the restaurant world. You spent time in New Zealand, Thailand, things like that.
Yeah. I've done everything. Well, not everything, but I managed a merchant company for a little while. I've gotten into winemaking. I lived in New Zealand for about 2 years. I've done vintages there and in Oregon as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and locally in BC.
So getting a good, well-rounded background in the wine world. That's
Absolutely.
Cool. Now, Spierhead Winery, you're the winemaker. You got Tom DeBello Consulting. Mm-hmm. You couldn't really find much better of a consultant, could you?
No. Tom's fantastic. I mean, he has such a great reputation from building Cedar Creek up to where they are, and Canadian Winery of the Year twice in the last decade. So. Yeah, we're really fortunate to have him.
Yeah, Tom DeBello is a well-known winemaking consultant now. He was full-time winemaker for Cedar Creek for years, but he's consulting for a lot of different wineries out there, and you guys included. And yeah. So Spierhead, where did the name Spierhead come from?
Well, we're actually on Spears Road. So it's,
okay.
Yeah, sort of similar spelling. And we're exploring something that really sort of described the geography of where we are on the hillside, which is right at the top of Spears Road, and our hillside actually sort of looks over and down the approach to the winery as well.
Okay.
So hence the sort of the topography lines on the label.
On the label, for sure. So now, how long have you guys been at Spierhead, or been at a location? How long have you owned it for?
Well, the owners purchased the land in I believe 2007.
Yeah.
Planted out our own vineyard, which is about 6.5 acres in 2008. So.
Okay.
Okay. Very, very young fruit. First fruit actually we just took this past vintage in 2010.
Okay, cool. And the owners currently, it's a partnership, right?
Correct.
Several individuals who we have got Bill, is that right?
Yeah.
Bill?
So we have Bill, who's Bill and Brian are the two main people.
Okay.
With their wives, I should say.
Yeah.
And Bill and Brian went to school together in Kelowna.
Oh, okay. Like high school together, Kelowna?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So they're long-time
friendship.
Friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we've got Bill's a lawyer, law background, and Brian's a photographer, and he's been all through the wine world. I guess a well-known wine photographer in BC anyway.
Yeah, I mean he's been published in the Wine Spectator and various other wine magazines, and he's one of the most prominent winery photographers in Canada.
That's really cool. Yeah. That's really well. As I pour, what do we got here? This is your 2010 Spierhead Riesling. Now this is all coming from your estate-grown fruit there.
Yeah, correct. So this is, I guess to say, first fruit off of the vineyard. Incredibly low cropping. We have 1 acre that we managed to get about 1.5 tons of Riesling off of, which is tiny.
Yeah, not a whole heck of a lot, but I mean, nice low yield. You're going to taste the freshness of the new fruit, I guess.
We're happy with the concentration. So
for sure. Now we've got a few reds here as well. Tell us about those. The fruit is, you guys aren't growing the big Bordeaux varietals on your site, are you?
No. But up in Kelowna, I think our climate is a little bit too cold to really ripen these ones properly.
Yeah.
So we have a small vineyard that we deal with just in the Black Sage Bench.
Okay. Now what are you growing on site at Spierhead?
We have approximately 4 acres of Pinot Noir, and then the remainder is Chardonnay and Riesling.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now what do you think the intention for Spierhead? Do you guys see a direction or path? Are you just kind of getting your feet wet right now, or?
Well, the goal is to become 100% estate.
Okay.
So that's really sort of what we'd love to be able to do.
For sure.
But of course, economics play into it. So We have to be able to sustain ourselves, and I have to be able to justify a job. So
Yeah, of course. That always plays into the equation, doesn't it?
But for the time being, we have 6.5 acres planted, and we have space for another approximately 8 acres of vines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now this Riesling, ooh, that's a bright Riesling. That's got a lot of acidity. That'll wake you up.
Yes.
That'll get you going. You could have that with breakfast if you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, so much drier style. We wanted to go with that sort of that bead of sort of lime and minerality to it.
Yeah, definitely. That's one neat. Here's the thing. You've got Tantalus Winery right on the corner. We've just tasted View on the show recently. They have a great Riesling. Riesling in the area you guys are growing has already got a reputation, so I think it's a wise decision to have a lot of it on your property. You get that racing minerality there. Makes it super interesting. For some reason, it's done well. Tantalus, their 05 Jancis Robinson was super excited about. So so Riesling's doing all right in that area.
Yeah,
go ahead.
There does seem to be something about the site, I think, that the Rieslings from further south in the valley tend to get more sort of opulent fruit, and they don't seem to have the same kind of nerve to them.
Yeah.
It does come down to stylistic preference. Theirs are a little bit more lush and full body, where these are a little bit more sort of angular, and I think they hold very well over time as well.
Yeah, that acidity is going to carry it. It's going to age well. It's going to keep that sharpness. Great with food for sure.
Yeah.
What's the price point of this Riesling?
This one's $21.90 from
$21. That's a very reasonable price. It's right in the average realm for Riesling price.
Yeah.
I like it. It's great, kind of that lemon lime, beautiful citrus notes to it. A lot of apple going on, but I love the minerality and just the sharpness on the finish.
That was really something that the owners had come back and said that they really loved, is they had tasted through BC Riesling, and they said, for what we want to do, we really love these drier styles, as the wines that are coming out of the Clare Valley or Alsatian Rieslings that are not quite as full on the sugar, but are really carried more by that refreshing acidity.
Yeah, on the back end of this one too, it's got I almost want to say a subtle hint of residual sweetness, but I don't think, is there any residual sugar in it? Do you know?
There's about 7 grams.
Okay, so I am getting a hint of that. I was going to say it's almost being portrayed as really juicy in the back end, or it's a subtle hint, but it's so subtle it just gives the wine another layer of interest, right? Yeah. That's really neat.
Yeah, but most Rieslings with this amount of acidity, you'd usually be looking at between 15 and 25 grams of residual sugar.
Exactly.
And at that rate, it's usually not considered sweet, but it harmonizes the wine.
Yeah, it gets some balance, right?
Yeah.
It keeps the acidity at bay.
Yeah.
Right on. Now, and this is, these are only 3-year-old vines as coming time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
3-year-old vines, and this is your first Riesling, so we got a bit of a rinse here. So I'm impressed. I'm really excited to see what your Riesling's going to do in the future. So look out for Spierhead Riesling down the road, but look out for Riesling from the Kelowna area in general.
Absolutely. There are a number of people. Tantalus makes fantastic Riesling, and as you say, the View is coming on.
Yeah, well, you've got a great relationship with the guys at Tantalus around the corner. David and you are longtime friends, the winemaker there. And
He and I worked together. Actually, he was my first hire when I was promoted at Liberty Wines, opening my own shop, and he was the one who actually inspired me to get into winemaking.
Well, there you go.
It's you've created a monster.
Sweet. So what are we tasting here?
So this is the Vanguard, 2009 vintage. It's our top end release, and it's about $35, $34.90.
Yeah.
And this is a blend of it's about 45% each of Merlot and Cab Sauv.
Okay.
And the remainder is Cabernet Franc.
Cabernet Franc.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a Merlot forward Bordeaux blend. Ooh, that's got quite the nose to it too.
Yeah, more sort of cassis aromas, a little bit more sort of tobacco.
Definitely. A lot of neat tobacco leaf going on there. A little bit of that just kind of soft, subtle, rounded pepper meets leather, something like that. But a lot of currants and plums and a lot of brilliant those purple black fruits coming through.
And this is where I think that Spierhead's direction is for me coming on with this project has been so exciting, is seeing the original wines and moving forward. Our direction is to take wines that really show the fruit character, as opposed to being heavily oaked or really sweet or alcoholic. We want the expression of the site to really show through.
Yeah. Well, this is your 09, so this is a young release for this style of wine too. You guys got to get some wine out the door. You got to pay for your roof, right? But it's drinking nicely already. I can just see it really coming together in the future. I'm assuming you guys are using a fully French oak program?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
100%
get that, you get,
Yeah.
I mean, it's got the subtle, nice French oak to it. The nice kind of spice realm, a little bit of that, just gives it kind of that herbal play almost, right?
Yeah.
Gives it that interesting layer. I'm really curious to see this wine in the next 3 to 4 years or so to see when it just really comes together. But it's drinking really juicy, quite approachable right now.
Yeah. I mean, that was the concept is to make something that is structured enough that will age. I mean, this is a vineyard that we haven't been dealing with for very long, so it'll be interesting to see how long these will age. But yeah, certainly the next 5 to 8 years, that tannin structure will soften a bit, and you'll get some more secondary development going on.
Yeah, well, that's a neat thing with the Okanagan. We're starting to discover areas where certain varietals do really well. And you're purchasing fruit from the Black Sage Bench. I got a great relationship with somebody there. And that's the area, South Okanagan, where your Cabernets do well, your Merlots do well. They ripen really well. And I mean, '09 was such a hot vintage.
Yep.
I'm assuming you can harvest early, everything's under control.
Yeah.
It's so it's a great vintage for you guys to kick off with as well. Good way to get your feet.
Yeah, we're really happy. I mean, we managed to get that hot season, but our wines are only 13 or at most 13.5% alcohol.
Yeah.
So we brought that down a little bit as well.
For sure.
Yeah. So again, in North Kelowna, the things like Riesling, Chardonnay, Pinot, I think those do very well. But
Cool.
yeah, further south, these are really our strong suit.
There you go. So if people want to learn more about you, do you have a website or anything they can go to?
We do. www.spierheadwinery.com.
Spierhead Winery. Okay, cool. I'll have a link for you guys below the video. You can click on the logo there. That'll take you to the website. And if people want to find your wines, and believe me, trust me, they're decent wines already. Look for them. You'll be pleased, I promise. You can take my word for it. Where can they find your wine?
Currently, we have a couple of the wines in the Liberty Wine Merchant stores, and some restaurants as well. Shambar Restaurant downtown, and a current couple accounts out in the valley. But
Okay.
we'll have all the names up on our website. So
There you go. Well, also, can you not purchase on your site as well? I think I saw a
Absolutely.
purchasing section site as well. So if you want to buy the wine on the website,
Please
sure.
do. Yeah.
Cool. Well, cool, Drew. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks very much, Mike.
Best of luck to you guys at Spierhead. I know you're a new winery, just getting going. I'm super stoked to see what you guys do in the future. I mean, the Okanagan is still so young and still growing and becoming who it is, so it's so neat to be a part of that. I'm sure that you're loving that right now, too.
I am. Yeah.
Cool. Well, cheers. Thanks a lot. Here's continued success, or to success.
Absolutely.
At Spierhead.
Cheers, Mike.
Yeah, thanks.